But today we are um today we're circling back to this deck that we left off on Thursday. This deck was very exciting, showing a lot of promise, and we felt like we wanted to kind of circle back to a different direction. So we were playing a build that was playing Fear of Missing Out, a build that was playing Finale of Devastation. In this show where we're trying to play Feasting King and or Kappa Cannoneer. We played one version without Cannoneer, and trying to slap a Detective's Phoenix on this to just attack for a lot really quickly. Just attack for a lot really quickly. And what's cool about this shell is that you have both of these big guys to either, to cheat out pretty quickly alongside your cookbooks. You have a lot of cookbooks. You have 4 Saga, 4 Asmo, 4 cookbooks. Malevolent Rumble is a really crazy card in this deck, as it is in most decks, but it's like extra crazy because you can mill over Ovalchase Daredevil, Troll King, or Detective's Phoenix for some value. And we were kind of talking about playing Metallic Rebuke in the show. We're talking about playing Urza Saga over Finale. At the moment, I like Saga more than Finale. It is definitely still a conversation. I am on the play some variation of Phoenix FTK. I don't understand the reference. I too much Mucinex, I guess. Okay, let's go to Mulligan to 6 here. And we're going to keep this one. Probably put back Urza Saga number 2. Yeah, I couldn't find a Phoenix the entire match. Phoenix is a really big deal here. FTK equals Feasting Troll King. I know that, right? But it's also a common acronym for first turn kill. Well, I have been playing Magic for a long time. I've never seen that be an acronym for first turn kill. Okay, we're up against Belcher. Got the Needle in the sideboard. Unfortunately, not the main deck. Get ready to rumble. We do get to mill a Detective's Phoenix this time. So we're going to have 1, 2, 3 mana value to eat. It's honestly not so much, huh? I think I'm actually just going to take the land. This means that if I find Metallic Rebuke or another Detective's Phoenix, then I can have enough to bestow the Phoenix. Lair of Denial, Sinking to the Stupor, Pact of Negation. Got 4 Consigns, got a Needle, got some Haywire Mites on the board. We're doing pretty good, I think. As far as winning this game, they could just not have a Belcher, but winning this game seems like it's going to be tough. They did grab the Flare of Denial. Am I really just going to go Saga token, Saga token? I guess? I guess I am. And I think I'm going to play this cookbook here with the intention of potentially discarding the Rumble. I mean, maybe this just gets countered, right? But if it gets countered, it's okay. But if we can discard the Rumble and then draw any card that has mana value, then we can haste the second Saga token. Yeah, I wonder if they're playing Wrath Disguise. We played against or we did a deck tech last week for a chatter who was working on Belcher with a white splash for Wrath Disguise. Like, a lot of times they'll play, like, dual lands for Pinhead Prism, but actual Witch Enchanter might mean heavier white splash, of course. And, like, trying to resolve the Rumble is, like, it doesn't seem to matter that much since my opponent has Flare in their hand. If they flare the Phoenix, it's not going to be as big a deal. Maybe this is that shadow. Yeah, that's what I'm getting at. Okay, so I did not draw any card that has a mana value. No main deck Needle today. No main deck Mite today. So I think that they may flare my Asmo. And my opponent doesn't have untapped land plus Belcher in their hand. They can't kill me next turn. Unless they have like some Tamashi loops. enough. See if they chump block. If they chump block, they don't have flare up anymore. Again, sorry for being so sniffly. What are you gonna do, huh? Alright, so they take 0. If I discard both cards in my hand, this will be exactly 16 damage, which seems to be exactly 1 short. Again, this is me, you know, playing around my opponent not having untapped land belcher. If they just have untapped land belcher, we're dead. How are the pups? They're okay. They're just everything's just kind of stinky. Okay, they do have Tamashi. Did we talk about the blocking rule changes? We have not talked about them. For those of you who did not see, they changed how double blocking works or multi-blocking works over the weekend, where you no longer assign blockers. Instead, you block, and then you just go to the damage step, and then when you're in the damage step, the attacking player gets to assign damage to blockers as they wish. And this seems to be a rule change that is intended to help casual players, newer players, not be as confused, because I do think people get kind of confused when it comes to multi-blocking early. I'm not sure exactly how I feel about it. I think nerfing blocking is just such a weird thing to happen 30 years into Magic's history. But it does seem to be a pretty explicit nerf to blocking. Wait, they have Whir? I'm surprised they have Whir and Witch Enchanter, because like you just wouldn't be able to go blue, 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 Whir so often. But wait, let's see what their build looks like. To be fair, I was barely aware of the blocking rule. Yeah. I mean, I do certainly acknowledge that the way that double blocking is. Okay, they have exactly 1 Witch Enchanter. It looks like interesting. Unless they had some in their hand. Yeah, I am aware that it is something that a lot of people are confused about. But I guess I'm just like surprised that they would just change like a kind of key not a key. I mean a key, I would guess. Seems fair. Big Magic rule this late into the game's lifespan. It's pretty weird. I think I'm actually going to cut the Phoenixes, since we're just going to be pivoting into a much more controlling deck with 8 counter spells and 4 interactive artifacts. Can we unionize and play the old way? I mean, I don't think so. I think it might be good to kind of like see how it goes. I remember we played against that mono black rack player who was like trophy grinding. And we won a game against them because they didn't understand how double blocking works, and they were like the modern trophy leader. Dude, mulliganing a triple consign hand hurts, but what are you going to do? Alright, let's keep this one. Rob said Otis at the 15 months. Thank you, welcome back. I think it really only comes up with pump spells and likely only unlimited. Yeah. I like that it is more accessible for new players. It's like one thing about the double block rules is like if you explain them to a new player, they would probably still be confused, like a little bit. You know what I mean? It's like I think if you explained how double blocking works to a new player, I don't know that you could like explain it and then like a really new player just like understands what you said. It's like it was pretty clunky, and so like to that extent, I think that this makes some sense. Yeah, I guess the big thing is you can't assign lethal damage to it. Yeah, that's what it was. We played against the trophy player, and they like not dead after all. Their Orcish Bowmaster, they double blocked, and I assigned their Orc army first to play around that, and then I just assigned all the damage to the Orc army, and then their Bowmaster didn't undie, and then they lost the game because of it. That was what it was. Yeah, I think the rule change is probably a net positive. You can still make that play now. Oh, right, I just on board them. Yeah, you can still make that play now, but you don't have to, like, plan ahead. Yeah, Yeah, good to be back. A little bit sick, unfortunately. They do have a Goblin Charbelcher. They also have a Lotus Bloom ticking down. Can we run a Hidetsugu in the sideboard? Of this deck, you're deranged. Alright, so we'll play this so that we can get both cookbooks down. I don't want to kill the Thundertrap Trainer here, as I want to convoke it out next turn, and improvise it out next turn. If our Kappa Cannoneer resolves, we're somewhat likely to raise, because my opponent needs to have land into untap land to kill me. One of their cards here, sorry, is a Tormod script that I foolishly did not respond to. Was not exactly expecting it. I think I still need to make a food token here. So, oh, okay, and then they weren't expecting me to just not. I think I'm gonna do this anyways, though. So if I draw a 1-mana counterspell, I can have that up. I guess I could only have Consign up because if I can't have Rebuke and Kappa Cannoneer. These artifact shells make it come back due to fall off Wrath the Skies. Yes, that is kind of simply, I guess, what's happening. Alright, does our opponent have an untapped land as one of their 2 mystery cards? If they do, we're dead. If they don't, they're probably dead. Lethal does not need to be assigned. Okay, that is a big deal, actually. But yeah, I don't know. I think it's going to be a good rule change because, like, again, just kind of like very simply, if you explained how blocking worked under the old rules to a new player, they almost definitely will not understand the first time, and I think that's probably just enough to like change the rules. We'll make a video for Foundations, probably, yeah. So Death Touch got buff essentially. Yeah, I guess so because you can just assign twice. Oh yeah, it would already it was already like that. No, it was already like that. Yeah. Yeah, I think probably a good change. I think it's cool that they can clean up some of the stuff that's late into the game. Like, I mean, I don't know. Even like the ordering blockers things. Like, I feel like even like at like PTQs and stuff. Like, you would just have players who just didn't really know how it worked, and they would just kind of lose because of that. Do they have Tamashi as their last card? There's no way, right? Okay, yeah. There's like no, like we would have been dead to Tamashi. Okay, we're going to game 3. Sorry for coughing so much. I just feel so gross today. My eyes are all puffy too. I kind of want to cut the Daredevils for Geese if my opponent's going to be bringing in Tormod scripts. Let's play 1 Daredevil and let's trim a Troll King against them having the Tormod scripts. 10 that's 10 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Yeah, I got 4 Metallic Rebukes of the main. Long time Rebuke hater, but gotta play him. Okay, I'm gonna keep this hand. Obviously, we don't have blue mana, and that kind of stinks, but we do have Cookbook and our 1 of Daredevil, which is cool. We also just have a turn 1 Urza Saga, which I just put a Pithing Needle in play before they can Belcher combo me. And I could do it in an uncounterable manner, which seems like by itself enough for me. Plus, counterspells to eventually draw blue mana for. He was up gambling all weekend. Me and Esther did do a lot of gambling. We ended up $1,000, which is fun. I was like down 200 immediately, but yeah, we did some gambling. It was pretty fun. I do not recommend gambling. Gamble only as entertainment and do it as responsibly as you can. But it was like, yeah, me, Honorug, and Krista were up until like 3 a.m. on Saturday playing blackjack together. It was very fun. We were up an even 1,000, and we're done. Done. Every other time I've been to Vegas, I've been down. Okay. So how likely are we going to want to consign or rebuke something here? If they played a Tamashii, I'd be pretty remiss, I suppose. Yeah, we'll just play this one really slow, I think. Just have the counterspell up, play commercial district next turn, then play Saga probably. Well, the dude, Bellatra at the casino would be so crazy. How much they got spent on cleaning supplies for the dogs? We had most of the stuff that we needed for them. We probably spent like $20 on like just specific skunk stuff because like my sister like let them in the fucking house after after they got sprayed by the skunk. So it's like a lot of our efforts could have been avoided. A lot of our efforts could have been avoided, I think. It's okay. Magneto Goblin Charbelcher. Now I did draw an untapped land to start Saga tokening, so I think I'll go just do that. Maybe tomorrow, dude. Maybe tomorrow. So this is a whir. Yeah, I mean, we can't really afford to counter this. Oh, no, I'm so dumb. I was thinking we can't afford to counter this, and then my opponent just Tamashis and they get back the Lotus, but obviously this isn't a Lotus. I'm devastated by no finale. I mean, I'm not 100% convinced Saga's better, but overall I have been liking Saga more. Fury, the 31 months. Thank you. Welcome back. Appreciate you. In the DRC FOMO show, I want to fight Energy with 4th Pyroclasm and Belcher with 4th Beseiju. And Belcher with 4 Beseiju. Is there a green 1-drop that survives Pyroclasm or is best my best bet? Can y'all please play Nethergoyf for the... please play Nethergoyf. I'm begging you, but I guess if you just won't do that, then Beastie, I guess, is your best option. 4 Beseiju for Belcher. Is this the best plan? Cleansing Wand. So it's nice that it can't be countered, I suppose. It's nice that it gets some splash damage against Tron. Okay, so I think I just want to let this resolve. I think I want my opponent to cast Belcher because I'm just, I'm obviously like in very good shape to win this fight. So I think I'm going to Rebuke first. Because if Rebuke kills Lotus Bloom, that's just a big W. And if they Pact of Negation, it can also be a big W. So I don't know exactly how this goes wrong for me. Okay, so they counter. Then we replicate our Consign. Even if they have Flusterstorm, they don't have enough mana to Flusterstorm and Belcher me, and I could just Needle them and they'd have no cards in their hand. Okay, so I think what we'll do is Haywire Mite the Bloom, Needle off the Saga, Kappa Cannoneer off the Steam Vents. I could get a second Haywire Mite also. I think that, so I guess we need to count, does second cookbook just give me lethal off the Cannoneer next turn? So what I can do is, so I'd probably play the Haywire Mite first. No, we should play the, I don't know, I want to kill the Bloom so they can't like counterspell or like flare my Cannoneer. Okay, so we'll go Haywire Mite, activate first, Saga Needle, then Kappa Cannoneer, then 2 cookbook activations. So that's going to be 7/7, untap, 8/8. So I guess it's a 2-turn clock no matter what. So I should just get a Mite actually. Okay. Okay, so we're going to go to second main phase. Needle, Goblin, Charbelcher. Goblin, Charbelcher. So nice 2-turn clock. We have a Needle on Belcher. They got only 2 cards in their hand. We have a Haywire Mite. Things are going pretty good. We have another Kappa Cannoneer. Why didn't we drew 3 Sagas and just didn't make a token? Obviously, but searching up Needle was just such a big deal too. Oh, I guess I boarded out my Phoenix, right? So I think we could maybe get got by Tamashi somehow, but I think we're probably gonna be okay. Jund version of God Pharaoh's Woodland. I mean, I'm just kind of almost not interested in playing God Pharaoh's Gift at all if you don't have Ugin's Labyrinth in your deck. I do think this build looks pretty cool, but it's not like we're exactly hurting for hasters, you know what I mean? We're gonna go basic forest Steam Vents here. I think I'm gonna wait on the Wraith. I don't usually do this, but like, if I find an Asmo off the Rumble, I'll have really wanted to wait on the Wraith. What do you think of Birthing with True Yogg playing Enduring Vitality? It's felt quite good at testing. Yeah, I would play the first Enduring Vitality. I think the first copy seems to be pretty good. Alright, so let's get a basic island to maneuver around Blood Moon a little bit. Get ready to rumble. So we do mill an Ovalchase Daredevil, which is nice. Not hitting anything valuable is not as nice. Do you think Palantir would be a good replacement for Income December? No, I don't. I think there may be like, maybe you would do that in like Through the Breach, you could play Palantir, but I think the vast majority of decks would not be interested in playing that card. Sorry, okay. I need to sack so they don't get any energy here. And Boros would probably play Fable. I think Ranger Captain might be better than Fable. You get to keep Gigantha. Unstable Amulet might be better than Fable. I think it probably is. Despite people not really seeming to like that card, I guess. I don't know. We'll see. We'll just kind of, we're gonna have to cross that bridge when we come to it. You know, it's just gonna be a big game changer. All right, so bring back Daredevil, make another food token. I'm going to be surveilling here. Can Kappa Cannoneer next turn. Imagine this is going to the graveyard. Kind of telegraphing my rebuke, maybe a little too much here. I'm not going to counter this, though. Just doesn't seem right where we want to be. We want to be able to counter a ring next turn. What's happening in December? That's the next BNR announcement date. Because of your Famous Arcanist, I came with a really cool brew. It's been doing pretty well on testing so far. That's cool. I'm not going to ask what it is because you didn't tell me what it is. 2 can play at this game. Okay, so I like this cookbook pickup. This lets me just not lose the rebuke. And then I could, even if I rebuke this turn, my ability to like double spell next turn is pretty increased. Another turn of getting hit by the cats, though. I did have a good time in Vegas. Thank you, Simon. Hope you're having a good time, too. Seems like we should probably counter that one. Look at my Vince Code Vegas. I just played the 100K. I went 3-0 into 3-3. And dropped. And then just played some, just hung around. Did some normal Vegas stuff. Yeah, ended up about up about $1,000 on like blackjack and roulette. Do not recommend doing that in general, I suppose. Recruit port on Yeager Asmo, replace Buried Alive for Traverse felt really good. Good to hear. Alright, 7/7 Kappa. So that means if they escape a Flage with Arena of Glory that they've been sandbagging, we could maybe get around that a little bit. Although now, yeah, we'd still be... No, they just go face and I'd be dead. Okay. So dead to Arena of Glory. Not doing super good overall. Sorry, I had some ads. Just a link with no pitch. Is it Arcadus as foretold? I cannot with y'all. Come on, there's no way. I've always hated these decks. I don't know. It doesn't look that bad if I'm gonna be honest. But I'm a big hater of these decks. They have Kitty's Blessing too. Looks pretty cool. Oh, one short. Okay, Asmo's the best top deck. We don't find an Asmo. So here we're gaining 6 up to 10, taking 3 down to 7. So we're dead to a lightning bolt. Can we watch this on stream? Maybe. Hold on. I'm just gonna gain the life now since I have no cards in hand to bluff. Alright. Zoom has requested we watch this.
What do you want to do?
Anyone want to play Magic?
Yeah! Let's get bragging! Let's play Foundation!
Dude, the millennial nostalgia angle is just so... It's working. It's working, I tell you what. Alright, we're dead. Game 2. Okay, so I've been bringing in Needle against Energy. You want to be able to name Bombardment a Johnny Ring. I've been bringing in between 1 and 2 Haywire Mite and usually bring in the Lantern and not the Ghost Vacuums. And then I do something like -2 Wraith, -1 or 2 Goose, depending on if I bring in the second Mite. I think I'm going to bring in 1 Mite and go -2 Wraith, -1 Goose. I did play against Mardu twice yesterday when I played this, and I beat him both times. Boros is probably a little bit worse because they have moons. That would be my guess, at least. Is that real? Yeah, it seems like a real Magic commercial, yeah. It feels like a joke. It is a joke, yeah. It's they're trying to goof around and be kind of silly to get you to buy the product. That is the you're supposed to feel cheesy, cringy, but oh, it's kind of been. I think it was a pretty good ad, I'd say. All right, so only 2 Wraiths in the deck at the moment. Both of them in our opening hand. Hand could be pretty good, but no real way of knowing, right? Let's just go ahead and mulligan. And I think I want to go Stomping Ground Basic Island again. Probably should go after the food token, if I'm gonna be honest. I'm actually very happy with that exchange. Would I counter an Amped Raptor here? Probably, yeah. Not gonna counter that, of course. I think I will go ahead and rebuke the Guide of Souls, though. I mean, I could rebuke whatever they play next, but Guide is pretty obnoxious. So we have Kappa Cannoneer coming down next turn, even through a possible Blood Moon. Can Surveil end of turn, or we can get Basic Forest to be better against Moon. Let's see what they do off the Amped Raptor. A lot of bricks here. A Johnny Nakano Pariah, not exactly a brick. That being said, we are going to get our Gilded Goose back next turn. I am going to Surveil, I think. I don't hate this one. I mean, I don't like that I can't double spell with it, though. I think we're in a graveyard. We're looking for Feasting Troll Kings and Kappa Cannoneers, Detectives Phoenix. These kind of cards. Just going to save the Rumble, although it's going to be pretty bad if they have the Moon. Just don't think we can play around everything here. I guess we can cast... if they Moon, we have the Goose coming back. Unless our opponent has Discharge, and they discharge the cat in the upkeep. Or main phase. Okay, so this is bad. But, I mean, the Cannoneer is going to die to... Or the Johnny's going to die to my Cannoneer. They get to hit me for 2, 3, maybe this turn off the Johnny. Does anyone know why Jumpstart is only Eternal legal? Yeah, I think it's very funny that they're like, we're making Universe Beyond legal in all formats to make it less confusing. Also, here is Jumpstart, and it's not legal in all formats. It's just the messaging is so all over the place all the time with Wizards. Something, something, mostly at random. Alright, so we'll get in at the Johnny, hitting our opponent, or hitting the Johnny down. We can get a Shadowspear on this Kappa Cannoneer. That'll be good. They probably took this down to 1 energy. Have I seen the Legend Elf? I don't think so. You know, I've been traveling, I've been sick. My dogs got sprayed by a skunk, for those who have missed that part of the lore. It's been a very busy a few days. I've not seen all of the new cards. The main jump starts were always Eternal only. Yeah, I know that they were always Eternal only. It's just very like they're saying that their Universe Beyonds are. I'm just telling you what they said. Universe Beyond sets are going to be legal in all formats to reduce confusion. Also, there's another set being spoiled at the same time as Universe Beyond, and it's not legal in all formats. This is, I think, very funny. I think I'm gonna sack this lantern. I think. Ooh. New players don't have a concept of eternal formats. Maybe. I just think it's funny. Alright, Graveyards of Flage with Arena and Glory in play right after I crack the lantern. I don't think that's good enough, though. Especially, because, I mean, at least my Cannoneers is 6/6 now. Doesn't the new combat rule turn all the combat tricks in the garbage? Not really, no. It is a little bit of a nerf to them, I guess. It won't be that different overall. Alright, so this is... A foundation. So wait, well, hold on. Foundations Jumpstart is the name of the set. Foundations Jumpstart. And it's not legal in Standard. It's only legal in Commander and Modern. Or it's the Commander and Legacy. I thought it was just called Jumpstart. The fact that it's called Foundations Jumpstart and the whole like pitch for Foundations is these cards are legal are legal in Standard for forever. I think it's just so dumb. I think it's just so dumb. Okay, they should be pretty dead here, right? I have... Yeah, they're super dead. Okay. Elves, yeah, whenever this becomes tapped during your turn, untap it, put a counter on it. Ability triggers only once each turn. It's 4 mana for a 3/3. Pretty cool. Probably would not be playable in Modern if it was legal in Modern. They have done this naming convention for other Jumpstart sets. Yeah, I mean, again, I don't know how many times I can say just because they've done it the other way doesn't mean it's not pretty dumb. Right? Just because they have done it in a way does not make it not kind of silly. Okay, going to game 3 on the draw against Boros. But it's like, hey, players, Standard players, Foundations is a set. The idea is these cards are going to be legal and Standard for forever, so it's less confusing. Also, Foundations Jumpstart not legal and Standard. And also we're just going to spoil all of these cards at the same time, and that way everybody's like a little confused every single time. I'm just so confused by the direction. Yeah, I agree. Like, why can't these cards just be Standard legal cards? Why can't these cards just be Modern legal cards? It's like with the Jumpstart decks too. There just has to be a lot of like, grandmas buying these cards for their kids, and they're like, oh, and then like a lot of people are gonna buy these cards on accident, thinking that they're Standard legal. Like, there's just like kind of no way to not think that that's gonna happen constantly. All right, we would like to draw land. Oh boy. We had 3 looks with the Wraith being on the draw too. Cookbook also would have been a acceptable draw. Isn't Jumpstart Arena only? I don't believe so, but this is also the thing. Like, everybody in this chat is like a super enfranchised Magic player, and everybody in the chat is like a little bit confused about what's going on. I guess they're scared of Corvolds and Nexus of Fate being required for us. The thing is, I don't know, just design cards well. Alright, scoop to the Mana Screw, I think. Bummer. Hawkeye, it's 21 months. Thank you, welcome back. Appreciate ya. Alright, we'll put back the Phoenix, I think. Maybe we should put back the Rebuke. Yeah, let's put back the Rebuke. With the Wraith, the Phoenix is going to have some fuel. Okay, opponent's on a multi 5. Should have put back the Phoenix. Stupid Street Wraith. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and keep that and then hope that we can find a Wraith or Cookbook off of our Rumble. Success. It's certainly risky for me to play the Cookbook this turn, but I think it's probably going to be correct for me to. So weird that WotC is suddenly adding a real change in the midst of the breakdowns for new set. Well, I mean, it's just that they want to be doing kind of everything on MagicCon weekend. That's how they like to do these announcements. If I'm going to be quite honest, I kind of have the feeling that Wizards has a lot of anxiety around posting because the people get so fucking crazy about everything, and I kind of have the vibe that they sort of just throw it all at once so they can get it over with. I don't know. That's at least the energy that I feel. Yeah, not having FOMO in the deck anymore means I can just kind of cleanly bestow exiling the Kappa Cannoneer. Although I guess maybe I shouldn't, because it's possible I could cookbook it back. So yeah, well, actually not, but in a lot of spots you can. Welcome back, Drew. Okay, put us down to 15. Do you have NDA on cards that's coming up? No, after I said no to Image 3, they haven't asked me to do another one. Which is fine. Well, Dead Asmo, I guess. Pretty good play. Why did I say no to Image 3? It was going to be too big a hit to the stream schedule. They wanted me to go to Seattle for like 6 weeks, I think. It's like 4 to 6 weeks. It's just too much time to take off the stream. It's just like too big a hindrance to the career. And then also like just kind of like being away from, you know, Esther and the dogs for that long would have been a pain. Okay, so now we get to go Troll King. Bring back Troll King, Phoenix the Troll King. They might have endurance, the way they've been like pausing on every single play. 6 weeks is kind of unreal. I mean, I think that might not have been the time. It might have been. It was 4 or 6, I think. It's again, this has been like years at this point. I can't really remember all of the details. But it was something along. It was 4 to 6, somewhere in that range. But I know it's good that they're doing it for so long. Okay, opponents at 1. Is FOMO good in the 6? We had FOMO in our first drafts, and it felt like high on the curve. Weaker without Arena of Glory. When you do this stuff, it's already like very powerful and very fast. It doesn't feel like you also need to set it up with FOMO very often. FOMO is okay though, the deck. I think it's just like they're just better cards to play. I think I've been liking kind of Rebuke over it. You could have saved us from Nadu Summer if you spent those 6 weeks. Yeah, maybe. I mean, I will say I was someone who like just didn't like my bias going into MH3 was that a 3-mana creature that combos with Shuko like probably had like no possibility to like really be that good, and I was definitely wrong about that. Okay, so they're playing Viserys here, which means they're Sam combo. So like I don't know that I would have caught it, you know, maybe. I definitely underrated it coming into spoiler season, so I'm definitely not gonna be like, yeah, I would have caught it, you know. We're gonna bring a Needle also. 1 Needle, 1 Mite, maybe 2 Mites. Like getting Birthing Ritual to the field seems pretty dang important. I'm not sure if I want to Ghost Vacuum. Vacuum is pretty bad against Cat. It's just not that good. Then they say they didn't test Nadu. Yeah, like if they didn't test it, then there was like no chance for me to catch it, because I don't think I would have caught it just by looking at it. I had the suspicion that like Nadu was like designed after Springheart Nantuko, because I still kind of wonder like how good the combo would have been if Nantuko didn't exist. Yeah, I saw the version, the original version I thought was like really cool. Another timeline. Just join on paper, FOMO look perfect. Yeah, we had FOMO in our first build. I think that it's possible that it still could be correct to just play Gruul instead of Teamer and then play FOMO. There's just a lot of ways you could build a deck. I'm not sure if I'm gonna play Surveil land on turn 1 or if I'm gonna just cast Asmo. We'll see. So Finale versus Saga is the main difference. Yeah, I don't remember if we had Rebuke in the deck. I don't think we had Rebuke in the deck either. We're playing like Rebuke over FOMO and then Saga over Finale. Bill combos 2 weaker. Yeah, that is valid. Okay, nice. They probably tested playing EDH for my cards designed for. Well, I'll say this, like a little bit of insight. They have separate consultants for Modern and Commander. And as far as like internal playtesting goes, I don't know what that really looks like, because when I was doing my consulting for Assassin's Creed and Lord of the Rings, this was during COVID era where we were just consulting. We weren't playtesting with Wizards. Um, but it's like a separate team that manages both. Okay, so do I want to discard my... Obviously, this is so annoying, but do I want to discard the Feasting Troll King? I think I'll save it as fodder for the future cookbook. Very surprised for something like Sam combo to to pest control me. You would think that that card would be like actively good against them. How many consultants are involved in this set usually? I don't have all the details. I was only involved in the modern portion. They're not giving me all of the information about everything, you know what I mean? Just a cog in the machine. We could have mited on this turn, sacking the spawn. I think I really want to make a Saga token next turn. Yeah, I think you need to play Saga or Finale, but not both. The Saga targets have been really nice. Shadowspear has been pretty nice. Okay, there's an Amalia. I think we're playing another Saga. With the intention to... Maybe, I guess, I could block with this with the Saga token. What sort of decks can best use Wintermoon? Decks with all basics. I agree that Wintermoon is an interesting one. I have been kind of daydreaming about it some still. But kind of simply put, and this is maybe obvious, I don't know, but you should basically only have basics if you're gonna have Wintermoon in your deck. You could play like a package that's like fetch lands, basic, and one surveil land, and you just untap that surveil land each time. Okay, so drawing the Rumble, I'm basically locked in to like only make one Saga token this turn cycle, so I might as well just make it off this Saga. And then grab a cookbook, I think, over Needle for anything, such because Needle doesn't stop Amalia combo. I guess it could stop the Cauldron Familiar. But they don't have a food anyways. So Detective's Phoenix, and another Daredevil in the yard, and another Troll King in the yard. So I'm gonna grab this Gilded Goose. It's kind of like a 4-for-1 almost. Not quite a 4-for-1, but like weirdly close. And then I can haste my other construct, so I can go... I guess I should probably also play my Goose, so I go like Stomping Ground, Goose, Saga token off the spawns, and then haste. If not for Vunivolt, it might be great in Merfolk. Yeah, I mean, like, it's like one big problem with Wintermoon is that like Boros is just already equipped to play a lot of basics because they're a Blood Moon deck, so it's just like not that good against the most popular deck, and that's always not a great formula. I'm like shocked that they pest controlled me out of the Amalia deck. Phoenix is so good in this deck too. I feel like Modern is too fast for Moon, though for that same reason, any mana denial makes an early impact. Yeah. I mean, like, Wintermoon is like so high variance. Like it's like insane against the Eldrazi decks. It's like just incredibly good. It's like mid against Boros and Dimir. It's probably much better against Dimir. The weird thing about Wintermoon too is it's like much better on turn 3 than it is on turn 2. Like, you kind of want to wait until your opponent has fetched a second non-basic, taps out on turn 3, and then you Wintermoon them, and then they're like -2 mana, and you spend 2 mana, they're -2 mana, and then it's very annoying for them the rest of the game. Like, you really like want to wait until turn 3 most of the time, which is just kind of generally awkward on a 2-drop. I don't think I've seen the new Kellen. Take a look. Like, Kellen is mono red now? A 1 mana 2/1. That's one of these like Figure of Destiny cards. If it's a scout, it becomes a detective. When it deals combat damage, exile top card, you can play the card this turn. It becomes a double striker. Ooh. That card is this card is juicy. Yeah, I don't know how they're gonna win with just a Birthing Ritual here. Yeah, its card's kind of great with Mox Amber. It is a 1 toughness creature. It's also a fairy. Oh my gosh, you can... Okay. Still a fairy, so you can go Kellen into Sprite the Bowmaster. Okay, they hit Gilded Goose to double chump this turn. I boarded out my Shadowspear also, which is maybe incorrect. But I was bringing in a lot of other targets. Arborist with the 16 months. Thank you so much. Welcome back. So if I hit a Phoenix, I can bestow off the Goose and win. Did you see Leyline Axe? I'm going to try it with Metalwork Colossus. I did see Leyline Axe. I was a little bit more thinking about Fervent Champion. That card is very cool. I saw it like right before I went live. Kellen's pretty cool. The fact that this is a Foundations card makes me think that they don't think this card is very good overall. Like, the fact that this is just going to be standard legal forever. Or like, you know, for an extended period of time. Makes me think that they don't think this card's that good. The Foundation sets are going to be standard legal for like 4 or 5 years. That's the whole pitch. They're like the foundation for standard. Doesn't mean Foundation cards will be just average. Well, you would think that, but a lot of these cards are... So, like, you would think that, but the problem is, like, the Wizards kind of can't print just average cards, because then they'll have below average sales. Yeah, Trample too. Okay, on the draw against Energy, probably. From a flavor point, the card with the bars made in Kellen's whole story arc in with him becoming not red. I don't know. I mean... I know that Kellen is looking for Oko, and I don't know if he found him, but that's about all I know. That's all about all I know. Oko. Average cards plus 10 Shocklands not enough for sales. I don't know. I mean, I'm not the right person to ask about all this stuff, but yeah, like they need to print exciting new cards for sets to sell. Like all reprint Shocklands, especially, which has been reprinted a billion times at this point, right? Is not exciting enough for sales. Okay, so I wish I had Breeding Pool, so I could go turn 1 Cookbook, turn 2 Saga, and Rumble. So I think I just want to give myself the option to Saga, Rumble, or Rebuke. I think I will discard for Steaments next turn. The new card, Crystal Barricade. It's a 2-mana 0/4. Yeah, I saw this one. 2-mana 0/4. It gives you hexproof and prevents non-combat damage to other creatures. Tutable Mark of Asylum for elves. It itself can still die to Galvanic Discharge, which is kind of no bueno, but it might be okay. All right, probably want to hold up Rebuke for Blood Moon this turn. Obviously, that's a good draw. One thing I don't love is that I won't be able to Rumble and Phoenix the Troll King unless I get a land off my draw step with a Rumble, because I discarded Steam Vents, but I wanted to keep Island over Steam Vents because of Blood Moon. What's the best format to grind MTGO? I mean, the best format to grind MTGO is the one that you enjoy playing the most. I think if you're looking for income or just like to spin things up, I would get a job. You know, it's better to grind a job than to grind Magic Online. Oh my gosh, I cannot believe I tapped my cookbook. Sorry. Obviously, my plan was to discard Troll King, make something else. The Kellen, it looks like it's from Foundations. Sorry, pretty bad punt there. Rental cards aren't free anyways. Yeah, I understand. I really think that as long as you're competent in the format, if you're proficient, it's all going to be pretty close. Second Bombardment, tough. Have I seen the new Alessia from Foundation? Seems like something for these FOMO Delirium decks. I haven't. No, if you would like to link it, I could take a look for you. All right, I think I'm going to need to block and... Excuse me? Magic Online, please. Yeah, I'll take a look at the new Alessia. Is she still smiling at death? I actually don't remember if Alessia's he or she. Restarting Magic Online. She laughs at fate. That's kind of sick. Wait, is that really what it is? I could have sacked the food token. I think I'm gonna need the food token. Maybe I should block. Actually, I should have blocked the Oslo Pride too. Alessia is laughing at fate. 3 mana, 2/3 first strike. Whenever it attacks, puts a counter on it. Raid at the beginning of your end step. If you attack this turn, return target creature card with mana value less than or equal to Alessia's power from the graveyard to the battlefield. So that card seems very good with Arena of Glory. You could bring back FOMO. You can't bring back Nethergoyf most of the time. It's a little bit annoying. When I block Pride, I should have blocked the Pride, I think. I'm a little sick today. I'm on some medicine. Oh, she doesn't even have to attack herself. That is interesting, yeah. But you can only return less than or equal to. That seems pretty interesting. Potentially a considerable buff to Mardu energy. What? Yeah, Nethergoyf has power in the graveyard. I mean, it's mana value. Oh, it's mana value, not power. I thought it was power. Okay, mana value is... The old Alessia was power, right? I might be misremembering that one, too. Pretty awkward Street Wraith. Just let this trigger happen. Sorry, we should have cycled. We should have cycled. We need to find like a Phoenix or an Asmo there. Sorry about that. Okay, I'm gonna sideboard the same way though we did last time. It's also Jumpstart, which can be confusing. Wait, this Alessia is in both Foundations and Jumpstart. I hate these Jumpstart sets. Like, who are they not confusing for? This card is nice though. No doubling season is I see. Okay, so originally Alessia was in Fate Reforged, right? And Alessia was laughing at death, but then the timeline got changed, and then Fate was reforged. Now Alessia is laughing at Fate. It's pretty good. I like it when the lore is like completely understandable just by the name of the card. You don't know anything else. Okay, so this is a turn 2 Troll King, so we're going to keep that. Jumpstart feels like a pretty streamlined, sealed experience in a GIF. I guess. I mean, I'm just not that much of a limited player, so maybe that's why it's just not as appealing to me. I just kind of wish that they should be staggering the Jumpstart release a little bit, so it's just not as confusing with the spoilers. This stuff would just be way better if they could just stagger these release dates. You know, even like when we're talking about like product fatigue and stuff, like what one big issue is that a lot of these standard sets came out. A lot of these sets came out within like a month and a half of each other this year, which is like way too fast. But at the same time, like we have like in the winter we have like really long breaks between set releases. Like I think we're gonna go like 3 months without a standard set release, 4 months maybe. and so it's like they could structure the release schedule much better to manage product fatigue and to manage like confusion, and they just don't for some reason. So I can Rumble if I commit to Goosen, but I think I'm just gonna Saga token and not Rumble. Next year we have a set release for Standard every 8 weeks, so we're in perma spoiler season. Honestly, every 8 weeks is like, I love it. I I think maybe it's a bit much. Maybe every 10 weeks would be better. But I think it's better than sometimes 5 or 6 weeks and sometimes 12. Probably financials. Yeah, I'm sure it's some corporate, nonsense that I could never understand. Yeah, every 8 weeks is great for content. Maybe not, it's okay for y'all to not love it, but for me, every 8 weeks is awesome. I'm I love to hear that one. Unless you'll only be in regular boosters. Okay, cool, thank you. Alessia looks really cool. 3-4 months between standard sets is kind of the sweet spot. Let's limited format develop fully. Yeah, I mean, for me, I think every 2 months is as a creator is really much better. Especially when it's standard sets, it's just new cards and new stuff to shake up stuff is how I like to engage with the game. It also makes the stream, I think, more interesting. Doing long periods without new stuff to work with, it just does become more difficult, and I certainly do recognize that not everybody likes it this way, but for me, I enjoy it more this way. Okay, so I both want to get a cookbook for the Troll King, and I want to Shadowspear. I think I just need to get the Shadowspear online because the Guide of Souls is hard to race otherwise. Interesting. So I can take the cookbook. I can cast cookbook off the spawn. I can haste a Detective's Phoenix on the Troll King, which has flying and vision. Let's do that. Let's do that. I won't be able to Shadowspear this turn, but I think that's okay because I'll have the big flying blocker. Rumble is really, 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 really insane in this deck. Rumble's good in a lot of decks, obviously. Oh, I don't have enough evidence to collect. Okay, Rumble sucks. I could have left this in the yard, though. So I guess I just equip the Shadowspear and sack of food. And then next turn I can kind of surprise, discard Troll King, discard Daredevil, escape the Daredevil, surprise 9 power in the air. When I saw the tweet, the previous biggest standard rotation was 3.6k cards with 6 releases. We're going to be looking at 5k cards instead, which is insane. Yeah. Again, I've not been much of a standard player for a while now, so my frame of reference on how standard players are feeling about this new rotation schedule is not much. I should have asked Ash about it when I ran into her over the weekend, actually. But if anybody plays standard, how are you feeling about standard being bigger and lasting? How are you feeling about bigger and lasting longer? General chat. Just let me know. Okay, that's a good draw for the Detective's Phoenix Fuel. Now I don't have to get rid of my Daredevil. So that's a pretty good draw too. So I guess should I? Can I do it all? Because I guess I can just not equip the Phoenix or the Shadowspear. Bad in my opinion. Was thinking about getting back into standard, but not now. Okay, good feedback. Thank you so much. Alk with the 18 months. Appreciate you, homie. Welcome back. I guess. Oh right, sorry. The second red. Yeah, let's just try to kill the Ajani. And then also doing it this way means that my Asmo can come down and kill some stuff. Ooh. Okay, I mean, this is not so bad. I have the Phoenix in play, which will probably just want to be a chump blocker now. They're going to get another Johnny trigger, but this Static Prison's going to die. I'm going to get another Troll King, and I can maybe just chump with the Phoenix, and then bestow Phoenix on the Troll King again if I want a big flying blocker, or I could just not, and I could just bring back the other Troll King too. Especially when there's a standard release in the middle of RSQ season. Yeah, they need to get better about scheduling that too. There's just so much going on with Magic right now. It's like it's trying to be like all things to all people, and you know, going to MagicCon over the weekend, like the game is like just very mainstream now. Like Magic the Gathering, like when I started playing, it was like kind of like a weird thing to be into. It was like the only way you got into Magic was because like your friends were like, "Hey, come on, you gotta play Magic. This game is fucking great. This game is really, really good. You gotta come play Magic." Like that was the only way anyone got into the game, was like by their friends like begging them to come play. But now it's just like mainstream and cool, and there's, you know, it's modern is not the mainstream cool thing to play, but Magic in general is, and it's just, I don't know, it's kind of cool to see. I think that I don't know if Wizards is handling the growth of the game as well as they could. But I will say overall this weekend, one thing I was reflecting on is how the game is definitely growing. Okay, so we'll just not play the second cookbook, and we'll go Kappa Cannoneer Asmo. Magic is mainstream. Yeah, it feels very mainstream. Like, it used to be, I felt that if you told someone, "Oh, I play Magic the Gathering. Magic the Gathering is my favorite game to play. I play Magic the Gathering as a full-time job." I guess I should have cast this. Most people would say, "What is Magic the Gathering?" And now I think the majority of people you talk to have heard of it, know what it is, have played it once. It's for people who are, it's pretty mainstream now, I think. Is that not more result of games being mainstream? I mean, maybe. I mean, I can't exactly tell you exactly what's happened with this cultural shift, but I just feel like I'm just saying there has been a shift. Nowadays, Magic is mainstream in the way that Funko Pops are mainstream. In the way that like people have heard about it. Maybe. I mean, I do hate Funko Pops. I think they look so bad. See, I consider things like Smash Bros, Nintendo, Overwatch, Minecraft being more mainstream. Maybe my bar's higher. I'm saying that Magic is like feeling like it's on that level now. It used to not be on that level of stuff, but now I think it really is becoming on that level. I started playing in Return to Ravnica, so like 12 years ago. More in the way that it's the vehicle for other IPs. I see. Yeah, I don't know. The whole like Universe Beyond stuff. I don't know. I know I'm supposed to have a take. I know I'm supposed to have a very strong feeling. All I've ever cared about is like well-designed game pieces. There will be good Universe Beyond sets. There will be bad Universe Beyond sets. So I don't really know how to feel. Wish they would have gone the 40k route and realized the most important product was actually exporting their IP. I don't know. So this is the thing, is it's like, you know, and I've actually been getting into 40k lore a little bit lately. 40k lore is like pretty rich and deep and interesting. I think Magic the Gathering lore used to be a lot better back like the Yawgmoth Urza days. But like since I've been playing, I have not felt particularly attached to the lore. I've been playing for 12 years, and I don't really care about Jace. I don't really care about Vraska. I don't really care about like the characters that they've introduced. Like I think they're a lot of times pretty one-dimensional seeming, and like they're not something that makes me want to engage with the lore more. If you like the lore and you want to engage with the lore, that's great. But for me, it just hasn't been something that has spoken to me and that I have become very attached to. I like to watch Amy the Amazonian get really drunk and explain magic lore. I think that's always a fun watch. But it's not really for me, you know. And of course, like if it just was very good, you know, we may be having a different convo, but this world was great. Yeah, that's the thing, is it's hit or miss, right? Like Bloomburrow was awesome. I loved Bloomburrow. I hated Outlaws of Thunder Junction. It's like the magic stuff has always been very hit or miss. And because it's so hit or miss, I haven't like felt like it's something I want to be engaging with super heavily. I think we go play the Mite with the ability to like block and kill the bombardment. Yeah, I mean, Duskborn seems fine. Duskborn is also like very off-putting to a lot of people, and I mean that's to some extent that's what's really nice about the game is that like you're just going to connect with different sets, but I just it's when because they're so hit or miss. I think that's probably why I haven't felt super attached to any of the like the lore and stuff. Yeah, I agree. Like when you have three Theroses in a row, like you can become very attached to Theros or Innistrad or Ravnica. I would have loved three Bloomborough sets. I thought Bloomborough was like just such a cool plane. I don't know. But it's just different than Warhammer. Like Warhammer just has a richer lore that's more like consistently good, I think. The issue is I think the lore of 40k was always a big vehicle to sell the game. They reworked it to the 90s, whereas the lore of Magic was always an extra top in the playing system. Yeah, I agree with that completely. I agree with that completely. And I think if the lore had been more consistently good, steady, something that people connect with, then we would be having a different conversation for sure. Sorry about that. All right, I guess we're letting that resolve. It's hard to produce and write a cohesive story for a card game that releases every 4 to 12 weeks. No one reads actual story posts. Yeah, I also agree with this. Like, I think if Magic the Gathering had kept more of its, like, original, like, darker vibe, like, its creepy vibe, more, like, we used to get, like, some scary, like, intense cards, and I think they definitely shifted to be more friendly in response, I think, just, things have changed a lot. Okay, I'm going to concede here. Let's go ahead and finish this league up. Do you think Magic is better or worse compared to 5 and 10 years ago? Okay, so compared to 5 years ago, Magic was probably as the worst it ever was. 5 years ago was 2019, chat. Sorry to break the bad news. 2019 to 2021 was, in my opinion, the worst era I've been playing in. Every single set release had broken cards that ruined the modern format. Every single set release, from War of the Spark to Call Time, there was a game-breaking card that ruined the modern format, ruined the format I played with. Every single set release, I think with no exception. I think with no exception. And that was bad. And I think things are a lot better than they were 5 years ago. 10 years ago, it's harder to compare because my frame of reference was one of a very new Magic player compared to one of a very enfranchised Magic players. And so we're just going to think about and evaluate the game differently. But I have a lot of nostalgia for, like, I just kind of can't think of that era without just being very nostalgic. But that era was very fun. I was also just not a content creator back then, and what was it in War of the Spark? Karn the Great Creator got Ugin's Labyrinth banned. Safari Time Raveler was also more of a thing, but Karn Ugin's Labyrinth like broke Modern, and they banned not Ugin's Labyrinth. Mike Smith Lattice. Karn Lattice was just so broken. Yeah, Narset was also pretty nasty. Oko was Eldraine, not War of the Spark though. Eldraine had several broken cards. Now we get direct to modern sets. Well, we also had direct to modern sets back then too. We had that, like, Modern Horizons 1 was in that era as well. Okay, we have double rebuke against Belcher. Hard to be too upset, although the blue makes things a little bit weird. And we don't have a blue Surveil land because you're on Sagas. What did you even do with Karn Lattice? You won the game. Your opponents were unable to play any spells. What was my favorite era and or set? I mean, it's hard for me to say anything other than Return to Ravnica. Return to Ravnica was an incredible set, I think, even in retrospect. I also love the standard format. Me and my friends still have a Return to Ravnica gauntlet that we play sometimes to this day. Return to Ravnica was a really special set for me. I don't know that I could really say anything else. MH1 greatest limited set of all time. It was pretty good, yeah. Yeah, Innistrad Return to Ravnica standard was very good. So hoping for another blue source, so that way Bloom plus Belcher isn't as painful for my hand. We did play this matchup earlier, and yeah, much better post board. Yeah, Tarkir block was really good too. I didn't like Theros block very much either. Yeah, I feel like so many people started in RTR. Like, I don't know if it's like, if I feel that way because I started there, and so I like met a lot of other people that started there too. But even like now, all these years later, like I'm streaming and people still just always say, I started an RTR block. Like I see this like really often, and like it was just good. It was a good time. Okay, deck tech for Chromis. RTR is Return to Ravnica. Sorry for coughing right into the mic. Right, let's kill that. Makes me a little bit worse against the 2-mana counter unless you pay 1 card, but... Okay, so this is updated for Leyline. So we've already... Okay, we're playing Fervent Champion with Leyline of the... And for some reason is this Portuguese? We're playing Leyline Axe, which is a equip 3 +1/+1 double strike trample. Pretty cool at Fervent Champion. Not that bad with Stoneforge Mystic either. I think I'm supposed to rebuke here. Obviously not ideal. What's nice if they don't have untapped land, if they don't have untapped land, they can't Belcher this turn, which means that I could rebuke the Belcher next turn and then draw Phoenix for lethal. I don't think Exercise is super main deckable. I could just be wrong about that, but I don't think it is a card that I would love to main deck at the moment. I would not play the Solitude Ephemerate package in this deck. I would just play more removal. I would try to play the energy package in the deck if I'm going to be honest. So close. I am gonna just not bother showing my opponent I have Detective's Phoenix in my deck. Yeah, I would not play Solitudes or Ephemerates here. I would just play more removal. Yeah, I think the Ephemerates, they just look worse and worse every time we get this deck tech submitted. But you should probably be playing Guide Pride to Johnny if you're Boros colors. Is Champion Evil playable modern? We've trophied many times with this deck tech that's submitted is a newer version of a deck we've trophied with many times. It has not been a deck we've trophied with in a long time though, probably 2 years. So it's one that I'm like pretty off, but there's still some like fans of the deck who will come and submit a deck tech for it. But yeah, it's not one I would really recommend. Okay, so Shadowspear out. What did I do last time? I think I cut the Daredevils. Alright, then I decided I wanted to play one Daredevil, and then I cut a Goose, and then I cut the Phoenixes to just be more controlling, and then I showed my opponent I forgot, and now not showing my opponent Phoenixes doesn't really matter. How many copies of Sunforger? The Sunforger plan is not as good as no Sunforger in my experience. What do you think of the combat damage change? So I wasn't sure. We talked about it on stream. I think after chatting with chat, I think it's probably good. A net positive. I think it's very weird to have like pretty fundamental rules change 30 years of the Magic's life cycle. But for me, just kind of talking it out, I said, if you explain to a new player how double blocking works, or at least with the old rules, with like assigning blockers then assigning combat damage, they're basically always going to be confused. Like I think 9 times out of 10 they would just not understand it the first time you say it. You would have to like show them how it works, and then they might even still be a little confused. Okay, I don't think I can really mulligan Saga plus Consign. And so like with just like saying that out loud, I think that's like enough of a reason to make a change. And it makes me like the change. I think I want to turn 1 Saga here. It's got to cut a cuff. I don't think it was never an issue for me. I mean, maybe. I mean, I don't really remember learning it either. I've also played against players who've been playing for like 10 plus years and also don't know how it works. You know, it's like... it's kind of confusing. I think it's... I agree it's not like, you know, not the most confusing thing in the world. Blocking is already so bad in Modern Magic. This change is pretty bad for limited combat, I think. Yeah, I mean, maybe. We'll have to see. I think I need to surveil here. Because I would just love to find another discard out with the Asmos and then not have to get a cookbook, but now I have to get cookbook. Instead of the needle, which I would have preferred to grab. So if my opponent counters this, I can afford to play second Asmo since I don't need to have this up till next turn. Can I explain as it changes? So yeah, no longer when an opponent double blocks your creature do you have to order blockers. Instead of ordering blockers, you just go to the damage step once neither player has any more responses, and the attacking player assigns damage as they choose. Those are the new rules. I guess I just bought them at this point. I would love to have an article about it, though. I'd love to have like someone kind of explain like how they realized this like was like a problem out of nowhere, and like why they decided to do something about it like this late into Magic's life cycle. Sorry, we're lucky I'm here today. I'm on Mucinex. I'm on ibuprofen. The skunk really just fucked with my whole system. Can the attacker can choose to not, or I think they can choose how the damage is assigned. I don't think they could choose to assign no damage, but they could choose to assign no lethal damage to either creature. So it's definitely a buff to attackers. Alright, it's gonna be hard to tap out for the Cannoneer because I only have 1 blue source. So let me just do this. And I think I want to play the Mite, so it makes it harder for my opponent to tap out for Belcher without dealing with this. And then if this slows them down because of that, then the Troll King will have time to get him maybe. It wasn't explicit, but it's implied when they're making foundations. This came up. Something about always in the shelf to make it. Okay, that's cool. Good feedback for sure. So if I Haywire Mite and they Belcher, then I do get got by Pact of Negation or Shoal pitching a 1-drop. They don't have many 1-drops. We also kind of get got by second Whir, I guess. New Eldrazi. I thought we would not see any new Eldrazi for like a year, so the fact that there's another one is kind of crazy. Okay, it imprints the lab. That's all I've seen so far. We have a new imprintable Eldrazi. 7 mana, 7/7, first strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink, war to pay 7 life. Get no haste. First strike, vigilance, menace, trample, reach, lifelink. That's a lot of words. Too bad I'm not reading them. I guess I did read them actually. Sire of the 7 Depths. So it's a 7 mana 7/7 with 7 abilities. Very fun. Yeah, they finally they broke Soul Flare canister. What are they thinking? Yeah, I don't really know how I feel about this one. Worth trying, I think, and if it costs, what's funny is if this card cost, if this was a 6 mana 6/6 instead of a 7/7 7 mana 7/7, it would be so much worse. Yeah, because of Ugin's Labyrinth. Like, there's one Eldrazi from MH3 that's like, it's a 6-drop that cycles for 2, and then you can sacrifice Eldrazi to return it. So this may be getting a needle. So I think I just respawn and grab this here. I don't really mind so much if they needle if I just have a big blocker. Does it mean if something goes trample, I can double block and trample over one to creature deals 0 to the other one? Probably not, but I guess we'd have to double look. Oh yeah, this is an artifact for construct now. That's funny. Yeah, Eldrazi Ravager, 6 mana 6/6, Annihilator 1, sacrifice 2 Eldrazi, return it from your graveyard to hand, and cycles for 2. And so the fact that it like cycles for 2, and then you can bring it back in the late game is pretty cool. But this card just does not imprint to Ugin's Lap, so it's unplayable. I am interested in Turnpike. I don't know if I'll read it on stream, but thank you for linking that. Goblin Chardies. All right, well, we'll see if our opponent can wiggle out of this one. Whoa, cool. It's a little bit worse against Force of Negation to do this. I guess worse against another Portable Hole. Okay, Portable Hole tech is sick. Oh, wow, the Portable Holes are cool. Bounce a Construct. Take 6. So it seems probably better to play Kappa Cannoneer than to hold up the Rebuke. Worse against another Portable Hole into Belcher, but I don't think they have the Belcher. I don't think they have the Portable Hole. Could have forced them to pop the Lotus there. Yeah, maybe that was good. I don't know, because they would have also like let us tap out for the Cannoneer a little bit cleaner. We could have played that game better. Why play Kappa? Because if they have another bounce spell, it's just like such a pain. And they have another Signature to the Super. It's just like the game goes on so much longer. So just putting a second lethal creature into play seems so good. With the needle in play, it's like just relatively safe. Could be wrong again. I'm on some medicine and. Yeah, my brain's a little foggy. I'm gonna go use the restroom real quick too.
What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike. What's up? It's me, your friend Aspiring Spike.
Okay, turn 1 Saga is really good. Turn 1 Saga is very good against them. And we have Mite to protect from Portable Hole. But it's just like they're a turn 4 combo deck, and this is turn 3, put a needle into play uncounterably. In fact, I think I'm so locked in on playing the Saga turn 1 that I should wait on the Wraith, because if I draw Asmo off Wraith, I'll still have wanted to play Saga turn 1. I don't know if they decided into Wrath. I mean, they might have Wrath. We actually did a deck for someone who was splashing for Wrath and Belcher last week. Rewarded, though. Yeah, Wrath is kind of tough to cast. I don't know if it really makes a lot of sense. Yeah, Sire of the Seven Deaths, pretty cool. Obviously, this card is competing with Breaker of Creation, Devourer, a lot, but it's a cool one. Okay, so we're gonna go discard Troll King, float a mana, Pithing Needle, Goblin, Charbelcher, play Goose, discard a Saga. Vegas Journal is pretty good. I just came home and my dogs got sprayed by a skunk, and so we've been dealing with that. It's been pretty crazy over here. The ward ability is kind of trash. No, pay 7 life is like it's like way better, I think, than you're gonna expect it to be. Peroxide baking soda bath for Freya. for Athena we did, yeah. And Lucy. Athena's had 3, Lucy only needed 1. I think only Athena got most of it. I did 3/3 drop at the limited open. I started off 3-0 and I was up a game in match 4. I was feeling really good. My opponent's at 4 life. I have Red Overlord in play. My hand is really strong. And then my opponent, Active Treasons, my Overlord hits me, sacks my Overlord with the red-black thing, and then kills me with Balustrade Worm the next turn. And then it was all kind of downhill from there. Is Goose better than Rumble there? Goose lets me put 7/6 into play, which like makes my opponent dead in 2 turns. So I think it's got to be correct, right? Seeking pay 7 life, not amazing. Eldrazi's mid range, just a ton of life, and a fetch on Saga format. Yeah, I think it's just gonna end up being better than you would expect. Okay, so I need to find a Haywire Mite. I have green from the Goose, so I have a redraw with the Wraith. Okay, very nice. 2-3, 4-1 the first one, 2-3 the second one. That's okay. Let's pivot over to the backup deck, I think. So we have been playing a lot of Arena of Glory FOMO decks.